She's got to. Good morning. I'd like to call this meeting to order. Randy, would you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
Absolutely honored. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Give us a roll call, please.
Commissioner District 1, Randy Netherland.
I'm here.
Commissioner District 2, Pat Tarswell.
Here.
Commissioner District 3, Sharon Trask.
Okay. Mackenzie, do we have any correspondence?
We do. Catherine Johnson, Executive Director of the Humane Society of Mason County, sent a letter regarding their interest in being considered as a contracted provider of animal control and sheltering services for Mason County. The Economic Development Council sent in their first quarter report. Federal Energy Regulatory Commission sent in the following. Cushman Hydroelectric Project deviations from reservoir elevation requirements and minimum flow and ramping rate deviations, Articles 407 and 411. Yosemite Ministries sent a notice of request to remove current use assessment classification, and David Killeran submitted an advisory board application for the on-site sewage advisory committee.
All right, thank you. Now I'd like open forum for citizen input. Is there anybody in the room?
We have the RFP and the news releases.
Thank you. I've been corrected. We have some new news releases. So.
The first one.
You're first.
Morning, Commissioners. I have just one news release, a request for proposals for homeless response grant funds. Mason County Public Health and Human Services is pleased to announce the request for proposal application for homeless response grants is now open for the fiscal year 2026 to 2027 grant term. The Homeless Response Grant Program includes funds from the Consolidated Homeless Grant, CHG, and the local document recording fees, RCW 36.22.179-1791, administered by Mason County. Mason County Public Health and Human Services is responsible for contracting and compliance activities related to these homeless response funds. These funds provide resources to agencies that respond to the immediacy and urgency of homelessness and ensure everyone has a safe and appropriate place to live. Mason County Public Health and Human Services is committed to supporting agencies that aim to end homelessness in Mason County. The RFP application materials can be found on the Mason County website under Request for Proposals at https://masoncountywa.gov. Contact person is Todd Parker, 360-427-9670, extension 293, or email at tparker@masoncountywa.gov. Thank you.
Thank you.
Are you gonna do all these, Mackenzie?
Yes.
Oh, nice.
All huddled down here.
Okay.
Didn't see that one coming.
Yeah, I'm not
That
gonna sign
simplifies
myself
things
up
out
for
nice
this
and
again.
easy. Good job.
Oh, this is weird. I don't like it over
I
here.
don't know. Okay, everybody, whatever you got in your pocket, throw at it. Go ahead. Make it memorable.
So I have 3 news releases to read. I'm going to give you a quick summary. The first one is for the Lewis Mason Thurston Area Agency on Aging Advisory Council opening. We do have one opening for a Mason County resident. All the information will be found on our website. You can fill out the advisory board application there. We have another opening for the Mason County Housing Authority. Again, you can apply on the Mason County website at www.masoncountywa.gov. And the third one, we have the Mason County Law Enforcement and Firefighters Disability Board at-large member vacancy. For this one, it is a little different. You will have to submit a letter of interest to Raven Marshall, and that is at rmarshall@masoncountylaw.gov. These will all be posted online for more information.
Thank you.
That's cheating.
Ta-da! Good job.
You survived.
Hey.
Now we get to do the open forum for public comment. So, anybody in the room care to make a comment?
Hi.
Tiana?
All right. Good morning, Commissioners. My name is Tiana Dunbar, and I am with the Mason County Economic Development Council. And I have some exciting news for Mason County entrepreneurs and small business owners. The Mason County Economic Development Council, in partnership with the Thurston County Center for Business and Innovation, is offering scholarships for the Business Enterprise Startup Training, otherwise known as BESS, and the Quick Start e-commerce programs. The scholarships are provided through funding from Pacific Mountain Workforce Development Council and seek to support new businesses in Mason County. BEST consists of 5 online, on-demand courses that teach new entrepreneurs how to write a business plan, structure and license their business, start branding and marketing their business, protect their intellectual property, and gain basic accounting knowledge to help their businesses thrive. Quick Start is an e-commerce training program in partnership with the W Marketplace designed for women-owned businesses with existing online presence, so either a website or a social media. Upon completion, participants will receive a certificate and gain access to the W Marketplace platform, helping to expand their reach and enhance their business visibility. Interested Mason County entrepreneurs are encouraged to apply for a scholarship, first as funds are limited. After submitting the scholarship applications, applicants will be contacted by the Center for Business and Innovation, who will provide access to the courses along with no-cost access to the business plan writing software. To apply for a scholarship, please visit www.masonedc.org or call the Mason EDC at 360-427-9670. For questions, feel free to email me, Tiana's Tiana, at choosemason.com or call Mason EDC at the number that I just said. Thank you, Commissioners.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi. Thank you, Commissioners. I had to put it on this. I couldn't print it out because I didn't have time. To express my sincere appreciation for your continued support in our work with the homeless youth in our community. My name is Susan Kirchhoff, and I'm the director and founder of the Youth Connection. Our mission is to be part of the solution by addressing youth homelessness through a holistic barrier removal approach that prevents chronic homelessness. And in today's world right now, it's a really important that we stop that chronic homeless and stop the parents who have children homeless being homeless. Generational. National statistics show that 1 in 10 young adults 18 to 25 and 1 in 30, 13 to 17 have experienced homelessness in their life. And these numbers reflect the critical need of our work. We are currently in the process of developing a 12 transitional housing unit designed to serve young people who lack family support or stable housing. These units will offer a safe space for young people to learn essential life skills, gain stability, and grow into active, contributing adults into our community. Along with the transitional housing units, we will be adding a coffee cafe in the bottom floor and many wonderful new programs in the drop-in center. And as you all know, we do have our drop-in center in Belfair, which will continue to operate in a mirror form of what we do in Shelton. This project has been years in the making, and your support has been instrumental. We've absolutely appreciated the support from the county. We are now in our final stages of securing federal funding in collaboration with Senator Murray's office. However, with the current uncertainty in the federal budget process, this funding remains at risk. So make good words. This is me saying if you have any way to make good thoughts, please make them. What began as a $2.5 million project pre-COVID has grown to just under $6 million due to inflation and required building upgrades, which we started out to only do the top floor, but because of the way permitting and everything is, we have to upgrade the whole complete building. We are now less than just $1 million away from our funding stream. If Senator Murray's money comes in, we are actually fully funded, but again, Senator Murray's money is our little caveat. We are hosting our 4th annual Mardi Gras at Little Creek Casino on May 17th, and all proceeds are going directly to that project. Despite the challenges, our outcomes have been strong. In 2024, 86% of our participants exited into permanent housing, and I can say they're still in permanent housing. They haven't returned. We do a 6-month to a 9-month follow-up with them, and our numbers continue to rise in 2025. We remain committed to being part of the solution, and with your continued partnership, we can reach the finish line and bring this critical resource to our youth and end youth homelessness. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Anybody in Zoom? Seeing none, move on to the adoption of the agenda.
Mr. Chair, I move for adoption of the agenda as presented.
Second. All those in favor of adopting the agenda as is written, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Motion passes. Also move to approve the minutes. No minutes at this time, so don't have to approve any of them. I'll look for a motion to approve the action agenda.
Would you like to me to read
Oh, yeah.
through
let's do that.
8.7?
Yeah, 8.6 is good.
Okay. 8.1. Item number 8.1, approval of warrants, treasurer's electronic remittance, claims clearing fund, warrants number 8111743 through 8112030. The amount is $2,271,434.98. Direct deposit fund, warrants number 115235 through 115644. The amount $964,056.53. Salary clearing fund, warrants number 7008808 through 7008843. The amount $1,285,616.15. The treasurer's electronic remittance is $315,321.05. Item number 8.2. reads approval of Washington State Department of Agriculture, WSDA, Knotweed Control Program grant application. Item number 8.3, approval of the Consolidated Homeless Grant, CHG, amendments with Crossroads Housing for an additional $70,000 and Shelton Family Center for an additional $57,500. Item number 8.4, approval of the Public Health and Human Services Director to send a request to extend its lease with Mason Health at 2300 Katy Court, Shelton, for an additional 2 years ending April 30th, 2027. Item number 8.5, approval for the chair to sign the 2025 Mason County Comprehensive Plan Periodic Update Grant, PUG amendment. And item 8.6, approval of the resolution establishing Mason County Compensation Board policy.
And just to clear up the record, the salary clearing fund, the amount is actually $1,285,616.50, not 15.
Okay.
Just
Thank
minor
you.
change, but
Thank you.
just for the record,
Gotta be perfect,
will
though.
be accurate, right. Item 8.7, approval to delegate signatures authority to Ralph Scott, Water and Waste Management Manager, to submit reports and/or documents for county permitted wastewater facilities. Item 8.8, approval of the resolution setting a hearing date with the hearing examiner for Wednesday, May 28th, 2025 at 1 p.m. via Zoom to consider public comment on road vacation number 424. Item 8.9, approval of the resolution for the county road project number 2064 for Old Olympic Highway Improvement Project, authorization for the Public Works County Engineer to advise, set bid dates and times, and award contract for the county engineer and/or chair to sign all pertinent documents. Item 8.10, approval of the following budget amendment for Superior Court for both remodel and repair at juvenile detention. Increase of $21,403 in real estate excise tax funds, an income of and an increase of $4,900 in general fund. Hang on, my computer beeped at me. Item 8.11, approval to adopt Taylor Jacobs as a generator on the Mason County Lodging Tax Advisory Committee, LTAC. And 8.12, approval of the county administrator to sign the letter of support for Turning Point's community project funding CPF request. So, yeah. Would anybody like to remove any of these items? Anybody in Zoom? Okay. Hearing none.
You ready?
Yep.
Okay. Mr. Chair, I move for approval of the action agenda items in its entirety. Items 8.1 through 8.12 as presented.
Second. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye?
Aye. Opposed? Hearing none. That is approved. We'll move on to department heads and elected officials. Any- Steve? Oh, Auditor Dunkel.
Morning, Commissioner Tarswell. Good morning, Commissioner Netherland. Steve Dunkel, Mason County Auditor. Hey, I want to share with you guys, last year the legislature passed a law where counties could propose projects in a future election to replace signature verification with an alternate means of ballot authentication. So we are proposing a project to the Secretary of State where we will use, and this will be 100% voluntary participation, but the voter will use either their state driver's license number or state ID number along with their date of birth as the alternate means for ballot authentication instead of signature verification. So we'll be submitting that today. We've been coordinating with the Secretary of State's office on that project, and we think they're going to approve it. And we think that will help reduce the rate and number of ballot challenges for signature mismatch in an election. And then with that, we're going to add an external privacy sleeve for ballot returns so that no voter information will be visible on the return ballot. So we're pretty excited about that. If approved, the Secretary of State's office will provide the funding for it, and we'll keep you posted. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else?
I have a quick update, Pat.
Okay.
Just to give the commissioners a heads up, I'm going to be bringing a proposal to place lots 3 and 4 of Public Works back on the market, so we can advertise those for sale. And we received an offer on lot 5 that I'll be bringing to your next formal. I'll brief you on it next Monday, and I'll bring it to for formal approval. We have to do that through a public hearing, so that'll be a future meeting.
Just for clarification for the public, what are lots 3 and 4?
So these are, we originally had 6 lots right off of 101 and 102. And they're located out by our Public Works facility. And the frontage lots actually are right on 101. We recently sold lots 6, 7, and 8. The same individual that bought 6, 7, and 8 have actually came back and offered a value of $50,000 over the appraised value for lot 5, which we're going to accept, and I'll bring that and brief the board on Monday and get formal approval for that through the public hearing process. And we've received offers on lots 3 and 4, but it's going to be a contingent acceptance, I think. So I will brief that on Monday of next week also, but just wanted to let you guys know and the public know that we'd be putting those back on the market.
Thank you. Any other comments? Anybody in Zoom? Seeing none. We do not have a public hearing at this time, and we can move forward to the board calendar and reports. Andy, would you like to?
Sure. Just a little catch up for some things from the last week or so. The Law Enforcement Firefighters Board, we had a homeless planning meeting. Auditor Dunkel, you did a great job on presenting a candidate workshop where you explained what it took for those that were interested in running for office, what it would take to run for office, how to file, and what that looks like. I appreciate that. I hope that we see more of that because I think it's important for everybody to have that knowledge. It'll help them make their decisions. Rotary meeting. I met with Judge Cobb, and we're talking about indigent defense, Olympic Regional Clean Air Authority, Rotary meeting. We met to pick up trash on Highway 3, but it ended up getting canceled for this week, and it'll be on the 26th. Legislative update, and I attended a fantastic event last night, the EMT graduation event. Mason County had their very first big class program they put together. I don't know how many were there, but I'd say there was probably 30 that graduated, all from Mason County. It was pretty spectacular, you know, a whole group of new heroes coming out. What a concept. You know, they were young and old. Older, there was one older than me, and I was pretty impressed, actually. With that being said, after this meeting, we have a finance meeting with our treasurer. I have a meeting with League of Women Voters later today, a developer, a meet with the realtors and the Kitsap Business Association in Kitsap tomorrow, North Mason Chamber of Commerce meeting. We'll be meeting with some folks in regards to crosswalks, Peninsula Regional Transportation Organization, Hood Canal Lodge, and a few other things that bring us back, and we'll start all over again.
Thank you. Well, today I have a meeting with the Finance Committee again at 9:30. I have a MACECOM meeting at 3 o'clock. Tomorrow I get to go through physical torture again. Excited about that. 11 o'clock I have a AI workshop for it's AI in the using AI to improve the efficiencies of government, put on by the WASAC. Then Thursday I have an MTA audit meeting at 11. Then Mason Transit Authority meeting. My printing's too small. Then I have a Thurston Mason Behavioral Health meeting at 1. Friday I have, I don't have that one, 10:30. Then I have a meeting with Annette, I don't remember the last name, we're creating a new board for the Puget Sound Regional EDC. It's basically a bunch of the counties in the south, Puget Sound, are creating another EDC, so we have a regional EDC. So we're kicking that meeting off on Friday. Next week, we have a briefing in the morning. Everybody has that. Pretty much it's getting filled up, but I think that pretty much covers everything I need to cover for next week.
Mr. Chair, I may be joining you on the AI workshop, just to let you know. We may both be there, we won't do business, but just be listening and taking the class also.
Yeah, it's an online thing. It sounds interesting. I'd like to see how we can use that to improve our efficiencies. So with that, I think we're finished.
Mr. Chair, I move for adjournment.
So moved. I second that. All those in favor, say aye. Aye. We're adjourned. Thank you, everybody.
Meeting to order. It is 9:29. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Hopefully we'll be short and sweet today. I don't have a ton of new information. I do have a document that I need both Steve and I to sign. Sharon came up and signed earlier. So we'll start the report. On page 2, it is it just shows the cash from March 25th through March 20, or as of March 25th, or 2025, I'm sorry. And what it was in March of 2024, and our cash balance is down by 1.486 million over last year in this time frame. So just wanted to bring that to your attention.
And this is as of the close of March, right?
Yes, March 31st.
Right.
And then I did update the general fund reserve down below to show the 2024 expenditures and how that fits with our 2025 general operating. And you can see our policy balances are 7 million, 9 million, and 12 million based on percentage. And our cash balance as of 3/31/25 was 24,317,000. So there is a difference above and beyond, and then less our reserve. So we're at 9, 6, and 4. On page 3 is our cash and investments. And at the end of March, we had 275,575,000. And then you see the breakdown by checking, impressed, deposits in transit, and then how our investment portfolio breaks down. We're doing pretty good there. This does not show registered warrants. The school district, Shelton School District continues to register warrants, but there is on page, a breakdown of that.
Are they keeping up eventually, or are they starting to get larger and larger and falling behind?
They're keeping up. So the school district has, gets their state apportionment at the end of each month. They did take a draw on that in December, and so they weren't registering as much. But now, because they took a draw, their monthly allocations are lower because they have to pay that back to the state over time. So they're back to registering warrants, but they're in the same amount and they're paying them off fairly frequently. So it is tax time, so we're calling them almost as soon as they're issuing them, once we have the tax dollars in. I apologize. I thought I knew what page that was. It's page 30. Through March, they've registered 6,612,000, and we have redeemed that much as well. And to date, we've earned interest in the amount of $1,955 on that.
I was telling Pat how bad it got years ago. We were actually paying at one point, weren't we?
Oh, interest? No, no. We were close.
We were paying, didn't we get one point where we were paying for them to hold our money?
No.
Oh, I thought we got that where.
We just weren't earning any
Bank
money.
of America.
Yeah. At one point, it wasn't worth keeping a balance, and so we had bank fees. So,
It was the bank fees
Yeah.
that made it, because we weren't bringing any interest, the bank fees were what.
Yes.
But we were going backwards. I remember we were, I believe it was Bank of America, right?
it was when we were with Bank of America. The benchmark for our investment policy is the 90-day T-bill rate, which is 4.33% currently. The state pool rate is at 4.4%, and the market rate yield for our treasuries and agencies is 1.86%. We still have some investments rolling off that had very low interest rates, so that still keeps down. And then there's just the historic pool rates and Federal Reserve rates there for your information. For investment interest collections, we budgeted $950,000 in 2025. That is slightly up from 2023, and we just didn't know where interest rates were going to go. And we still don't, day by day, quarter by quarter, I guess. But we've collected almost half of that at this point, $470,000 through March. So we will exceed that again. And then to date, we've only had $2,115 in banking costs. All the data to support that is in your packet. County debt payments, I did show that here as well. We only had one small payment this first quarter, and currently we have $16,859,000 in outstanding debt. And then on to old business. Just an update on the Shetland Road. There's really no new update. We're still working with the road department. They're still working on getting that road up and finished so that we can move forward with determining what those costs will be and what we'll be financing and what we'll be billing. So, and that looks to be like later in the summer, early fall. So we'll keep you updated on that, but at this point it's still a work in progress.
Keeps just kind of pushing out. Is
well,
that because of the lack of response from property owners?
I don't believe so. I think they're going along very smoothly that way. It was just the winter. They couldn't do the road construction during,
until it meets the right temperature.
So
and then they can't charge until
They actually do it?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I was just wondering in terms of, I heard you say fall, and I felt like that was long, so.
they should, yeah, I believe, by the time we get around to the financing and the billing, it will be this fall.
Okay, gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
Madam Treasurer, how much interest do you think if we go out for bond, or are you thinking of going out for bond or loan for this? And how much interest are you expecting?
So the original estimates, I believe, were about $375,000. So it's, you can't bond for that. It's just
too
too,
small.
so it'll have to be a bank loan. And the interest rates at the time were anywhere from 3 to 6%. I mean, we
Yeah.
just didn't know, and I don't know what they would be now. There were two banks who were interested in taking the loan on. There's also the ability for the county to do a loan. It would have to have a balloon payment after 5 years and a refinance or something to go out the full 10 years that they wanted to go. We've never done a financing like that internally, but I have documents and kind of a process that we could follow. But I won't make that decision or bring that decision forward to the finance committee until we know more.
I'd like to make a recommendation for you to think about, and you may not like, you didn't like when I've talked about it in the past, but I did it when we were a port commissioner. We have funds that are available in the road department for new roads for economic development. If we were to do an internal loan and pay ourselves back the interest, that thing can actually grow. We charge the same interest as we would for a bank, and that fund grows larger and larger, and it stays within our house. Just something to think about, but it's up to you, and it'd be up to your whoever replaces you.
You're right. But ultimately, it would be up to, yeah, so there would be options to bring forward outside of just a bank loan, which
When
is, cut and dry.
When you've done interphone loans in the past, have you set the interest rate based on the LGIP? Or do you set it based on what you could get out on the market in terms of
It depends on the financing that we're looking at the time. The commissioners have the ability to decide that.
okay.
And the finance committee would bring some recommendation forward. Generally, for our purposes, it used to be at the LGIP plus 2%. That was in our contract, or in our policy. We changed the policy. So it can be just the LGIP rate. It can be some version of that at the commissioner's discretion.
And I'm wondering if it can't be set up differently than the interfund loan, just like I did at the ports where it was an interfund loan, we were allowed more than the 3 years in the 5-year window. If it's done as an actual loan with the interest and stuff like that.
It would depend on what that financing looks like. I don't know. I'm not familiar with that type of financing, so we'd have to look at it through Public Works.
It was very successful at the ports. We were able to grow our development fund by loaning money to ourselves that we were going out for cars, anything else, and we paid interest into it.
But you were loaning that out to yourself,
Yes.
right? So that may be different, Commissioner, just because this is like, the debt is actually, the repayment of the debt is assigned to the individual property owners.
Yeah, this is a
So it's-
road
No,
improvement
no, yeah, I was
district,
gonna say,
so.
but we did it as a straight debt. We had an actual IDD fund that was separate from everything else, as you know, because you actually handle that. The IDD fund is not something you use for general purposes, but at the same time, we were able to go and take loans off of that, and we have that New Road for Economic Development fund that we might be able to. It's just something to look at, because I would rather the interest stay at home
Come to
and
us, yeah.
continue to pay us, and there might be other things and other opportunities. And it literally, over the years that I was there for 6 years, I know at one point we were like at 800,000. I know it was like 1.4, I think, when I left. It just kept growing because we kept doing it. And you think all that stuff used to go to the banks and bonds, and not to mention the fees we charge when people that do the bonds for us don't do it for free.
Right. All right, that was my old business. New business, we need to approve the meeting minutes from January 21st of 2025. Those were included in the packet, so.
Madam Chair, I move that we approve the meeting minutes from January 21st, 2025.
I would second that. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
That's your job, man.
There you go.
That's it.
All right, those are approved. And then my next new business is, annually, I'm required to present a statement to the Public Disclosure Commission for the Finance Committee. And I do that on behalf of the Finance Committee, and we do that on behalf of the ports. So, the ports you do not have to sign for. I am the treasurer, so that's just me. But the Finance Committee, Steve, I need your signature. And I already got Sharon's signature, so we're good on that.
Okay.
So, I will have you sign anywhere you would like in those 3 spots.
I get to pick one, huh?
Get to pick one.
Tax day. Okay,
All right, I will get that off to them.
very good.
And then is there anything for the good of the order today?
Business is March 5th.
Yeah, I'm not hearing any. I'm gonna adjourn the meeting. Everybody get back to their own business.
Madam Chair, I move that we adjourn.
Does she just tell us to mind our own business?
She did.
Again, Lisa, it's coming closer and closer. Just know how much you appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you, thank you.
We will miss you.
Thank you.
I've gotten to the point now when we come to these meetings, I'm getting nervous because I see you and I know that you're not.